Yeah, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. You can hear me okay?
Ah, it's okay. So people are
Great.
joining, so we'll start live streaming also on the YouTube. We'll start right now.
Cool.
The people will join.
Okay, great. Do you have a link that for YouTube that I could
Yeah,
send
yeah,
to you
I'll
guys?
share you through WhatsApp.
You share it to WhatsApp? That'd be great because there's just a couple of people that want to jump on as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They will
Awesome.
come. Yeah,
So I just start now, or do
yeah,
I
yeah.
wait?
No, no, the welcome speech. Yeah, we can start, Ma. Welcome speech.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Thank you for joining today's Youth Dialogue event. I'm Saubhagya Venkat, member of NYCI Tamil Nadu, and I'd like to welcome you all. The National Youth Council of India is a multiple award winning non-profit organization with two Guinness World Records, which was previously called the Youth Development Consortium. We're proud to say that it is the world's largest youth council. We believe that young people are the heart of solutions to the world's greatest challenges. And that's why we are dedicated to strengthening systems in communities to achieve sustainable outcomes in health, education, political, and economic empowerment. By helping young people pursue their aspirations, we empower them to contribute and benefit from the creation of more peaceful and prosperous communities. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our state president of NYCI Tamil Nadu and the board member of the National Unification Advisory Council of South Korea, Mr. R. Bimal. We are grateful to have such an eminent administrator and a man with a vision and mission as our president. The way to develop the best in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. We are privileged to have such a person amongst us. We welcome you, sir. We welcome our chief guest and the speaker for the day, Ms. Jess Clare. Ms. Clare is the founder of Number One Social Media School and humanity-led business curriculum leadership mentor. She is a business strategist, a social media genius, and a successful entrepreneur. Ms. Clare has spent about 18 years in corporate and financial services in the field of research, technology, data and analytics, process design engineering, customer experience, and business growth strategy. She moved across into the online space in early 2019 to make a bigger impact. For Ms. Claire, leadership is about connecting deeply with yourself, your voice, what matters the most to you, its importance, your vision, your creativity, and of course, the courage to express all of these. We welcome you, ma'am. And once again, it gives us immense pleasure in welcoming everyone present here to the Youth Dialogue. We hope you have an engaging and enriching session ahead. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Um, Thank you, everyone who is on. Lovely to see you all. I much prefer to talk to you in person, but seeing as though I'm here, I'll deliver this to you. If you would like to contact me afterwards, I'll give you some details as to how to contact me on social media because I am on social media. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. Yeah, and I'd love to connect. So as I got lovely introduced, I'm Jess Clare. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about, when Vimal approached me, I was very thrilled. I love the idea of being able to talk to a different country other than my own. I mostly talked in Australia, in the UK, and sometimes in the US, but I wanted to talk to somewhere different, somewhere that I could connect with people that maybe I wouldn't usually connect with. So thank you for having me. And before I do, when I do these kind of things, and what I'd like to talk to you guys about, is sort of mentioned is what leadership is and what leadership isn't. So leadership to me is really, really important. And I mean, if anyone has been following some of the stuff that's happening in the world at the moment, leadership is one of those things that we look up to others to provide. And I want to talk to you about that. But ultimately, I want to create a new access of leadership on this call, and I want to leave you with a sense of your own freedom and your own integrity and ownership of a new world of leadership that's potentially emerging. This is at least what I believe from my own experience, and I really do think who is key to this emerging is youth. and younger people. So I am absolutely thrilled to be able to share this with you guys today. So let me start with a story. Probably about 5 years ago, I was at work and I was working in corporate and financial services. I was very unhappy in my job. I was earning okay money. I was working a lot of hours. I was in a relationship I suppose I thought was great, but it wasn't really. And I was just working and working and working and working and working. And at some point, I realized I really didn't have great connection with my friends. I didn't have connection with my colleagues, and I wasn't really connected with myself. And I got to a point where I was so unhappy and I didn't want to do it anymore. And one day I sort of went to work and I looked around and everyone was doing the same thing. And that was not okay with me anymore. And I didn't know really what to do about it. And I found myself at work, not knowing what to do. I was being very abrupt with people. I was with my colleagues. I was finding that I wasn't able to be kind to them. I was pretty much just, the word I use is dominating. I was just going in and saying, we need to do things this way, and this is the way that things need to be done. And if I found that someone else was doing something I didn't like, I would find ways to sort of undermine and cut down their work. And this was not the person that I really wanted to be, but somehow I was being this person. And then one day I was working with this woman who, as frustrated and as upset as I was at the time, I was working with this woman who seemed to stand up to me and be very bold with me, but at the same time very loving and kind. And what I found interesting about that is that it was really the only person that had the guts, or the only person that really I could see had the tenacity to stand up to me. So I found her very intriguing. And one day I would come to her and say, this isn't working at work. And I get frustrated and I'm like, that person shouldn't be doing this and they should be doing that. And I was sort of, talking to her about it. And she said to me, are you going to complain for the rest of your life, or are you going to do something about it? And she did it in such a way that it was so loving, but it just struck me to my core. And so in that moment, what I realized is that I needed to do something about this. So I went and started on a search of what is it going to take for me to begin to connect? What is it going to take for me to actually experience satisfaction and fulfillment in life? And I started on that journey. And 6 years later, where I came out to was I went and explored the lives of thousands of people. I went firstly and explored myself. And, I think I've watched a bit of the stuff that you guys have been exposed to recently. One of the things I really could see is that I grew up in a world where people told me the way that life should be, where my parents handed down the way that life should be, where people in society told me the way that life should be, and I had bought into that. And I started going out and doing all those things. And, 6 years ago, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. And I started on a journey just to start to begin to think about what it would be to live and lead my own life authentically. And in exploring that, I got to talk to thousands of people about what it was for them to live and lead their own life authentically. So after doing all of that, what I came out with was that there doesn't seem to be much else that people want apart from having moments where they're at home and they sit down and their partner or their friend or their child or their parent can actually sit with them and listen and connect. A moment where, I have kids, my daughter looks up at me and says, Mum, why does this happen in the world? And I'm able to stop what I'm doing and just be with her and just connect. And that can happen with anyone. And yet, mostly what we're doing most days is just getting more things, doing more work, consuming more and more products, and trying to I don't know, but trying to be better. trying to be better than others, trying to do all these things that actually are not really serving us or serving us for humanity. So I decided I wasn't going to be a part of that anymore. And at work, how I noticed it was I had people, at some point I noticed that I started to connect with more and more people around me. And I started to say, let's explore what leadership really is. And I found that people at work would be having something happen, and they would not go to the boss if they have an issue with the boss. They would talk to each other. So there was a lot of gossip. So no one was actually talking to the person that was upsetting them. I noticed that people had a whole lot of stuff going on in their lives that they couldn't talk to their parents about, or they couldn't talk to their friends about. Like, there was all this hidden stuff that was going on. And so I made it my job to go out, and I want to see what happens when we actually start to tell the truth. So I've decided, so just on that, I made this choice to start to define what leadership isn't. And when I say leadership, I'm only talking about for oneself. If you look out into the world and try and say that leadership is up to your government, if leadership is up to, your parents, your friends, your family, it's not. It's up to no one else but you and your ability to create yourself as someone that you are going to be proud of for you, for no one else. So what leadership isn't, let's talk about what leadership isn't. Leadership is not money, the amount of money you make, your status, how many people think you're great, power, how much power you might have. It is not that. It is not your ability to win an argument. And it is definitely not how educated you are. So I have just said that leadership is not those things: money, status, power, ability to win an argument, and how educated you are. So if leadership is not those things, then what is it? So I left myself with that dilemma for a while. And what I can see is people that chase money are not leading people. They're dismissing people's ideas. They're dishonoring people. And honor and inclusion and connection is a part of what I can see leadership is. So I created this idea that there is no such thing as leadership. I just told you what it is, what it isn't. But what I found is that when I really looked, I found that leadership doesn't really even exist. So how did I come up with that? Well, there is no one that demonstrates leadership all the time. I don't even. I have moments where I'm not great. I have moments where I get frustrated. I have moments where I get sad. I have moments where things don't work, and I'm not demonstrating leadership in those moments. But what I could see is that what leadership is it's the moment by moment exploring in that moment, what would it be for me to actually say what I really want to say? In that moment that I'm having a conversation, what would it be for me to actually choose not to do something because it doesn't work for me? To say no. When my parents say, you need to do that, I go, no, I don't. I don't have to do anything. And what it really takes, I'm making this sound easy, right? But what does it really take to be able to create and be someone that is able to say no when things are not aligned with you? And what does it really take to be someone that says yes to things that only work for you, and you start doing those things at work? Like, what does that really take? As far as I could see, we have moments of these things, and they take practice. And that doesn't mean it doesn't come with fallout. It does. People will get upset. Parents will get upset. Bosses will get upset. But over time and practice, when you begin to create yourself in this way, and you begin to continue to explore how to have more and more moments of your own leadership and living and leading your own life authentically, what happens is you start to practice being the person that you really are. and being the person that you really want to be. Now, I'm talking quite conceptually right now. You know, I'm talking about things that this is and things that this isn't. What I would love to do right now is probably talk to all of you and take on some personal situations where, you know, how do we do this, and what about this, and what does this look like? But ultimately, I'm not able to do that in this call. But so where would I begin? I would begin looking at what's important to you. And I think, you know, that was said about, you know, how do you begin to be someone who creates yourself, exploring living and leading your own life authentically? Well, you have to start to explore what is important to you. What is important to you? That's the first thing you want to start with. If no one else is around, no friends, no family, no anyone is around to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, what would you really, really go after? So you start there. And then from there, it will begin to unfold. So let me tell you my story. Seeing as though I can't share this particularly with you, is or can't engage with you guys. So my story was that after being in the corporate world for 18 years, I eventually left my marriage, and because that was not working for me. After that, I began to talk to loads and loads of people, and I could see that there had been a shift. What I could see is that people wanted to not make this so much about this money, status, power things, and maybe look at what we could do if we put together living and leading your own life authentically and exploring what it is to be a leader, putting that together with something as powerful as social media. So I'm just sharing my story about how I came about what I'm doing now. Is I can see that there's loads of business out there, and as far as I can tell, business is one of the most impactful ways to make a difference to people. So I turned this theory that I've just spoken to you about now into a business curriculum. I injected all of the thousands of people that I spoke to about what was really going on in their life, the things they talked to me about around suicide, around anxiety, around depression, around, you know, not being able to feed their families, around the relationship breakups that they experience, around being disowned by their parents. You know, after taking all of that, I realized that, you know, we don't incorporate this stuff into business. Some people also don't know how to incorporate this stuff into business. Some people don't even know how to talk about this stuff. But what if we had what I call a humanity-led business curriculum, where we are all about creating ourselves as entrepreneurs and business owners, but have it all be about purpose and people and mission and how we can make a difference to our humanity. Now, that does not mean going out and saving the world. This is really about going out and saving your world. And when I say your world, I mean you as an individual. What are the things that are important to you? Going out and finding ways to make a difference to them. Going out and finding ways to go and have that relationship that you really want. Go and build the business that you really want. Go and share the skills with people that you really want. Go and actually do things that bring you joy, not do things that you think you have to do because someone told you needed to. So we created a curriculum, and we've leveraged social media as the tool, because social media is the place that you are going to get the most opportunity right now. There is more opportunity in social media than there ever has been before. You potentially even know that. And so we've created a curriculum. So I created a social media school that could take any business idea, be that around whatever it is, just take anyone's idea and turn that into a profitable and sustainable business using social media as a tool. Now, I could see that was something that I wanted to do for myself that came out of living and leading my own life authentically. Why? Because I'm all about creating 1 million. My goal is to create 1 million entrepreneurs in humanity-led business. So yeah, that was my experience, or that's where I've gotten to personally in terms of my journey of living and leading my own life authentically. Now, it's not as if I have now arrived somewhere. It's not as if I have now gone, great, I've got this business. No, it's not over. Every single day is an opportunity. Every single day I have interactions with people where I come away going, this is not the world I really want to live in. I don't know how much you guys are following certain things that are happening in the world, but it's not okay with me that there's separation in the world at the moment. It's not okay with me that people are fighting and tearing each other down and destroying each other for having different views and opinions. It's not okay with me that different religions don't get on. It's not okay with me that we don't know how to talk to each other. So for me, I want to create more and more and more entrepreneurs that go into the world and impact these issues in ways in which we can create what I call unity consciousness, which is a place in which all people are included, all races, all whatever it is, all cultures, all areas of thought. We get to include all different people and from all different places. Now, that's what leadership is for me, and so I stand for that. Is that for everyone? Absolutely not. But everyone has their version, their unique perspective that they want to put into the world. And that's what I'm interested in. I am interested in talking to every unique individual. I'm interested in having every unique individual have a voice. I'm interested in that voice being amplified. I'm interested in people being able to see that being unique is actually the most important. It is the thing that binds us together. That our uniqueness, because we are also unique, our uniqueness is actually the thing that makes us the same. That we are and have some sort of unique value to contribute to the world, but underneath we're also human. We have sadness, we experience anger, we get frightened, we get fearful, we get all of those things. And so how do we begin to come together and talk about this stuff and share this stuff with us and have that voice and support each other in creating and expanding these ideas that we do have? So that is me, and that is what I wanted to share with you today. And I just want to recap that I've said a lot of things today. I only had half an hour to speak to you, and I wanted to just give you a snippet into the kind of thinking that I'm about. But this is really about living and leading our own life authentically, taking away the judgment from others, the thinking about what anyone else is doing, and really going, this is not about money. This is not about status. This is not about power. This is not about ability to win an argument, or this is not about how much education I have. How do I connect to the hearts and the minds of the people that are important to me? How do I have a voice in the moments that really matter to me? And how do I go out and express my joy as much as possible? Now, I would love if anyone wants to, connect with me, and I'd love to come back and talk to you guys. I mean, when Vimal reached out to me, I was like, of course I would come and talk to, an incredible group of young people. You guys are the next generation of change makers, and that you're even on this call says so much to me about, what's really happening. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and be on this. I hope this has been of value and worth your time. I did ask Vimal if I was going to be able to talk to any of you, and he said no. So if I do ever get the opportunity, I'd love questions. I much prefer interaction and live interaction rather than just talking down a virtual tunnel. But thank you for having me, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys again another time. Is there anything
Yeah.
else, Vimal?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. So they will have the 2-3 minutes for vote of thanks. That's it. Yeah, thank you so much.
2 to 3 minutes. What was that?
So vote of thanks.
I still missed it. I'm sorry. Auto thanks, did you say?
It's vote of thanks, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, vote of thanks. Oh, thanks.
If you don't create the problem for yourself, you will never find the solution. Good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this evening on behalf of National Youth Council of India. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Miss Jess Clare for her valuable and wonderful session. Thank you for your time, ma'am. Next, I thank all the participants who have joined us today in this virtual event for being such a wonderful audience. And I hope that you will all make best use of today's session when situation demands. Finally, I thank Mr. Vimal, President, National Youth Council of India, Tamil Nadu, for giving us the best guidance and the perfect support for conducting this virtual event. Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Vimal. Thanks for organizing.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you. See you later.
Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye.